I wasn't going to make this video. I thought I wasn't qualified to talk about the potential extinction of video editors on YouTube. I thought, oh, this is just a passing trend. It'll be over soon. That was until I came across this video by Sam P. Dunn. Sam is a YouTube editor who has edited for YouTubers with millions of subscribers and millions of Washingtons. But in this video, he sent out a warning call to other video editors to watch out because the vlog and quote homemade style of video editing was making a comeback, as indicated by YouTubers such as Sam Sulek and many others. So, does this mean that we're dying out? See, I was happy to know that there was another like-minded person who was detecting the same sort of trends forming on YouTube and in the realm of video editing. But I was also startled. See, this is a real phenomenon that is happening right now as we speak in 2024. And if you're watching this from the future, you may be in a whole other season of video editing adaptation. And in that case, I believe that this video could be helpful for you as well. To find out what's actually going on, let's take a step back to 2022. In November of 2022, ChatGPT was created, and this sparked a whole craze of artificial intelligence, which has morphed into the world of content creation, from AI-generated scripts to images to now stunning Sora AI videos. AI is slowly taking over jobs left and right. Or is it? Is this AI craze actually the endgame for content creators, or is it simply another rapid boost in opportunity for the creator economy? There are many thoughts about it, but here's what I've observed so far. AI can only go as far as you can. It may be powerful, but it's only as powerful as the prompt that you give it. Number 2, it's not your slave, it's a tool. If you plan on asking a robot a question, then please expect a robot answer. I don't plan on having AI take my job, at least for right now. And lastly, it's not a person. Despite all of the amazing technical things it can do to help improve your videos or your writing, whether that's with B-roll or something else, it can't compare to working with a real human being. With humans, there are nuances in people's voices and physical gestures that can't be replicated with texting or something that's robot generated, because that is text. At least for right now. And as AI continues to grow into the world of video editing, I believe that there's going to be a separation of editing classes, so to speak. If you fall into one of 3 of these editing classes, I'm afraid that your editing career could be on the path to total destruction, but we'll get to that later. Have you ever been on YouTube looking on how to improve your edits? I can't tell you how many times I've been in that position myself. When I was a newer editor, I first started on iMovie. It was great, free, and rather easy to pick up on the concepts of post-production. In order to learn a video editing skill, like keying out a blue/green screen background, I would learn it on YouTube or just discover it accidentally, and then I would go out and practice it by making a whole short film dedicated to practicing this skill. And it would help me learn faster. And I believe the current state of YouTube editing is like that. However, it doesn't all seem that healthy. Let me explain. Any editor on YouTube, I'm sure, has seen a how to edit like Iman Gadzi video appear on their homepage. You may ask, why is this bad? Isn't it good that other people are learning video editing? Well, yes, it is good, but think about it. If all we see on YouTube are a bunch of Iman Gadzi copycats and MrBeast wannabes, what happens to your own unique voice? It gets stifled. There is less room for growth because you aren't pushing the boundaries of your own skills, let alone someone else's. And in fact, I was once one of those people. If you look back at my old content on this channel, I thought that learning from other people's editing styles was good. And it is, don't get me wrong. But there's a difference between learning from other people's editing styles and stealing other people's editing styles. Hey guys, really quick, I need to pop in here and say something about this next clip. Recently, my views have changed on the subject of copying other people's content. Of course, I need to say that it is not okay by any means to copy and paste somebody else's work into your own and then call it something that you've made yourself, when in reality, it isn't. But
It is completely okay for you to study other people's content, replicate it, and then apply the principles to your own work in your own creative style. But I just need to clarify that because this is a very important point in the editing world. Way back in the day when I was first starting out, I would replicate the skills that I used to see on other people's content. And now I've taken those principles and applied them to my own content in a way that does not stifle my own creativity. This allows me to grow as a video editor, and that's what I want you to do.
Learning itself is worthless without the application of it in your specific situation, which means that you can learn the reasons why one particular YouTuber or movie editor would use a series of cuts or animations, and then go about applying that to how you think it would best suit your situation. Stealing, on the other hand, is taking the exact animation and using it for your own content. Well, stealing might be a harsh word and is really a moral issue that you have to wrestle through. But rather than using the word stealing, I suppose the real issue could be a lack of creativity. If you've ever been on YouTube Shorts or TikTok, you may have seen content that looks like this. And it sickens me. Honestly, it's rather disrespectful and I believe it needs to stop. In the nicest way possible, I believe it needs to stop. I think it originally stems from what I like to call the content hustle culture.
Your country is not the variable of your hustle.
Just trying to pump out as much low quality content as possible.
But your hustle, your drive is not predicated on your zip code.
In hopes for getting a few numbers added to your name. Money, subscribers, and views. Again, I think it limits your ability to adapt and grow and degrades the actual art of being a video editor. But what about these? We need to go back and talk about these unedited videos because I think that they could be the real game changer to the future of video editing. Sam Sulek is a young bodybuilder who started his channel in 2016, but he has exploded in popularity over this last year, and he doesn't do any editing. He is, to quote VidIQ's assessment of his strategies, a real dude. Sure, he clicks and drags all of his videos into the timeline and exports it, but you can't really call that video editing, right? Nevertheless, he gets hundreds of thousands and possibly millions of views for every video that he makes, which is every day. And there are others out there who are gaining millions upon millions of subscribers and views by just simply pressing record and talking to the camera. Like Dry Creek Wrangler School, which talks about life and experiences with being a rancher and a cowboy. In fact, there are many others that are doing this same thing, except with scripts and leveraging their abilities to present information. Just look at Alex Hormozi. He changed up his whole content style in 2024. Originally, he started making videos in his closet, gaining hundreds of thousands of subscribers. Then he switched to higher editing styles, and now has gone back to the unedited ways of making business content on a whiteboard or even just something as simple as recording a podcast. But it's getting him hundreds of thousands of views and scaling his business more than it has before with editors. And side note, I believe that scriptwriters this next year will explode in popularity with the help of stellar presenters on YouTube, such as Alex Hormozi. It seems as if these people just don't need video editors anymore. They can do just fine without making cuts. And even I have started doing this very thing on my newsletter, The Editor's Weekly, where I talk about weekly tips and tricks on how to edit better videos, but in an unedited style. And I've gotten 50% retention from it because it's people watching who actually care about what I have to say. But then again, that's people who want to hear what I have to say. What about those that don't? Does editing then work better in that scenario? What's the answer? Is editing important or is it writing? Is it AI or is it people? Is it taking somebody else's content and using it for your own exploitation? Or making your own? It's complicated and we'll come back to it. But I think that through all these potential dangers to the world of video editing, there will be a distinction of video editing classes that will emerge. Now, pay attention, because I believe this next segment could change the way that you look at video editing forever. This first point consists of a group of people that I like to call the lazy lower class. Now, this is nothing against the actual people in this group, but I believe that with the emergence of unedited videos and these three classes, you will have no choice to be pushed into the lower class. Now, what characterizes the lazy lower class? First off, these are people who rely heavily on AI for making their videos, which overall isn't a bad thing, don't get me wrong. But if you take that away, are you still a good editor? I believe a video editor should be defined by how he makes his cuts, even if he has no other tools available to him. They only care about the numbers, meaning views and money. If you take those away, do you still want to be a video editor? I know I still would. And they look to where they want to be a month from now, which means they have no vision for the future. These are editors who are focused on making the effects and not really engaging with what it means to cultivate emotions in the viewer. They don't really know what editing is. They think it's just cutting up a bunch of clips and placing them in a timeline and hoping for the best. But that's not really what editing is. And instead, they get stuck in the mix with those smaller channels and those agencies who only want to produce output and not really care about the videos that they're creating. If you are in this class of video editors, I plead you to get out for a number of reasons. First is that they have a get-rich-quick mindset, and those who build their wealth quickly will lose it quicker. It's been seen time and time again with athletes and celebrities like Kanye West and Mike Tyson. It's just like Uncle Ben said, with great power comes great responsibility. They don't understand the vision behind those who maintain their wealth or their power, which leads into the second reason why I need you to get out of this video editing class. The reason being is that they don't have any respect for the early pioneers of video editing and the craft that it actually is. Like I've said, it's disrespectful. I mean, think about it. Just a couple of decades ago, we were watching Star Wars in its prime and the fabulous works of Spielberg, Scorsese, and Christopher Nolan. And don't get me wrong, some masterpieces of cinema history have been made in these last couple of years. But has all of that great video editing actually led to this? The answer is, I hope not. Which brings me to this next class of video editors, the minor middle class. Some characteristics that they have: they use AI as a tool for making their videos better and not essentially making the entire video. They are focused on providing value to the viewer and the customer first, and not themselves, which means that they consider the valuable elements in their videos such as storytelling and not just the retention edits. They understand editing and even study it. They don't know all the proper terms of everything that they're studying, like storytelling, but they see the patterns that have the most impact on them. And also, they know where they want to be in the next 2 to 3 years, which means they have a greater vision than just the lazy lower class. So these editors can actually earn a pretty substantial income from video editing. They're not just scraping from the bottom of the barrel trying to make their next few dollars. And lastly, we have the superior upper class. These are the ones who dominate the video editing and content creation space. They care deeply about their customers, viewers, and clients. They understand storytelling. Like the middle class, they only use AI when it enhances the video. AI is a tool to be leveraged to provide value to the viewer or to the editor and the client. Finally, the superior upper class knows where they want to be in 10 years from now, or at least they have goals to the point where they can almost barely see them, but they know that they are attainable if they work year by year, day by day to get to their goal. And they are willing to work without seeing any results. Notice for how each of these classes, I didn't even include the amount of skills that you have to become a good video editor. In fact, I think it's the opposite. Video editors should be determined on how well they place and pace their clips, how well their ideas and emotions can be translated into a video. The vision has also adapted. They want to build something for the long game rather than the short. And I think that through learning from other people's content, through using AI and leveraging unedited videos, video editing will be different this year. And maybe for good. Editing is diversifying. There are more opportunities for accessibility, more opportunities for people to become the right video editors, the right way, the way that makes the viewer question and wonder. There are more paths to translating your ideas and emotions into a video than ever, which is what editors are supposed to do. It's what they were invented for. Unedited or not, the reason I love video editing and content creation is for the way it makes people feel and perceive the world. And I think that's beautiful.